What up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome back to the Free FUT Tiers podcast. My name is Mersgoth, and as always, I am joined by Brad and Luke. How are you both doing today?
Doing okay, not too bad. Surviving on little sleep. We had a poorly boy overnight, but other than that, all good.
Yeah, I'm doing fairly well myself.
Good to hear. So, obviously, we are in the middle of the World Cup, so we've got World Cup themed promos. But on top of that, last Thursday was Thanksgiving, and as always, whenever there's Thanksgiving, the day after is Black Friday, and the culture of Black Friday is becoming a bit of a phenomenon and growing. And obviously, FIFA does Black Friday as well. So we've got quite a lot of different things to be covering in today's podcast. So first thing, let's talk about some of the promos that have come out. So we'll start off with the Road to the FIFA World Cup. This is not to be confused as a live promo, because some people were thinking, and to be fair, myself initially, as them being Road to the Final cards, but they're not. They are just like to celebrate certain players doing quite well in the qualifiers, in the build-up to the World Cup, so it's just basically to celebrate that. We've got quite a good selection of players. Some are actually looking quite good in terms of price if you happen to pack one. And then you've got some that are pretty much discard value, especially when you consider the volume of packs that have been opened lately. So just to go through some of like the big ones. So in particular, we got Kylian Mbappe. So, yep. So if you happen to see him, whether you pack him, you're going to be like laughing all the way to the end of the game. If you happen to come up against him, you're probably going to be crying. Sadio Mane as well. Son's got a card. Modric, Marquinhos. Those are pretty much like the big hitters. And then like on the lower end of things, like in terms of value, you got Mitrovic, Jesus Corona, Zielinski. So, you know, there's a wide selection going on. But have any of you packed one, tried them out, got any thoughts and opinions on any of these cards?
I just packed 92 Maldini. Let's think about it. So I packed the Rony Rona. As I think most people probably have actually. I've packed Hincapie, who me and Luke were just talking about, who actually looks like a really solid card. And I'm just gonna have a look through the promo thing and see if I packed any more. Oh, and I've got that Mateus Nunes. So yeah, pretty much the three worst ones that everyone probably got while they were spamming packs. I am yet to use any of them. And I've had a bit of pack luck over Black Friday, so actually none of them make my team. But yeah, me and Luke were discussing Hincapie looking good as a centre back rather than his normal left back position, one of his alternate positions. So yeah, I'm going to try him out in a side and have a look at him.
Yeah, I mean, we want to talk about luck. I've not had any of these come up in my packs. My packs have actually been fairly rotten this whole Black Friday event. So, you know, it happens from time to time. I've had my luck so far this year. I can't moan too much.
I know you've tried at least one of the players though. What was your thoughts and opinions on that certain Belgian player?
Yeah, so that Dries Mertens card, for me, it reminded me of his older cards. When I started using him as an impact sub, weirdly, he's not quite doing as well. So when I started him, absolute unit, was tearing sides apart. But actually off the bench, he's not really feeling that good. So obviously not on chemistry, so he's not going to be getting the boosts. So I think the Hunter card did a lot for him.
What chem style were you using in when you were trying him out in the starting 11?
I'll repeat my last sentence of the Hunter card did a lot for him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That would make sense. I just wanted to double check with the pace boost and shooting boost would definitely help when someone's on full chem. That is the only downside to this FIFA with players coming off the bench is last FIFA, I know it wasn't much of a boost, but at least they had a tiny little bit of boost in terms of the stats when coming off the bench. But this year it's purely just based on what the face cards stats are. So I find, like, if you want to have a player on the bench to be a super sub, you do have to hope and have someone that really excels in stats for that particular area. So like when you bring on CDM, they got to have like high physical and defending stats, that type of sort of situation. Same with the attackers with the pace and shooting, because if you bring on a striker or something like that with 80 shooting, you're gonna feel that 80 shooting.
Yeah,
It's more about getting into the positions more than anything else, but yeah, I do agree.
And then an SBC wise for these road to the FIFA World Cup, we've had a Christian Eriksen coming out, which I think is obviously fitting for obviously certain events that happened. But it's a bit weird because even though we're in the World Cup, some of these SBCs and stuff have been celebrating Euros. Eriksen looking quite good as well. Kind of looks like his FUT fantasy card in some ways from last FIFA. Yeah. So it's not that expensive at 50k as well. So if you run a Prem team or you happen to have some Danish players, I would say it's worth doing in my opinion, because I think he's cheaper than David Silva as well. So it's good cam card to be adding into your team. But obviously with all the subjects we need to cover, we'll swiftly move on to the World Cup icons that have come out. So these are quite an interesting looking set of cards, because the way that they worked doing like in terms of their stat boost, so they're essentially something in between the middle cards and the prime cards. So it's not going to be like, oh yeah, this is proper like end game material cards, but they're quite nice as a filler between like until the prime cards come out, which I believe will be next month. Normally is when prime cards come out, if I remember rightly.
Something like that.
So yeah, so if you happen to get one, because I did pack one myself, I packed a Bobby Moore in my FUT champion rewards, but I didn't try him. I just quickly sold him because I knew that his price was going to drop. Then there's also like SBC wise, we've got what come out today is Schweinsteiger, but we also got Robin van Persie, who again, in terms of my opinion, Robin van Persie, bit overpriced in my opinion, especially when you consider that there's a World Cup hero Morientes out there, which is half the price, but very similar in terms of stats, in terms of build as well. Just the differences, one can be lengthy, which is Morientes, and Robin van Persie cannot be lengthy. So again, if depending with the matter of the game, because obviously it's coming away from lengthy, could be quite a good thing. But any of these World Cup icons looking good for you guys? Obviously, apart from the obvious one.
I was going to say Eusebio, but okay. Yeah, I mean, it's that thing, isn't it? I suppose because they're like new and shiny, like for this year, but like it is also essentially a mid icon getting a team of the week. Then it's like it feels like there's less hype for me around it, because we know they weren't going to do the moments, so we expected that there will be. They told us about this. The World Cup one's going to get a boost. No doubt after Prime, they're probably going to get a boost in some other promo as well. Maybe numbers up for those that were part of Adidas. So I'm expecting that, like, although we're not getting moments cards, we're going to get a few of them chucked into other promos later on in the year. And I think this just makes me, I don't know, think that they'll be all right. But I think, one, chemistry-wise, they don't lend much to the game. And yeah, for like you said, like I feel like heroes are better, but not only that, by this point right now, people have probably got 7 or 8 heroes from packs and SBCs potentially, if we didn't pack duplicates and stuff. So yeah, so unless you get one untradeable, I don't think I don't think people will be going out to purchase them necessarily, not unless it's for content.
Yeah, there's definitely some that I'd say look interesting. So one that I would say straight off the bat is Emmanuel Petit. I think is an interesting one. And the reason I use the term interesting is it's got more pace than any of his other cards, including his usual prime card. His prime card normally has 77, 75 on the mid, 80 on his base. This one's got 81. So it's probably going to see more use. The main difference is one defending, same physical, one dribbling more on the prime. It's one's on there, but it's a difference of 4 pace. So you could argue that one's actually the better card. But it's nice to see certain lesser icons get a little bit more of a glow up.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Louder up, is it something you're planning on using? Probably not, but it's nice to see a little mid-year glow up for some of these.
Yeah, and I think with him, like, he looks like okay. Plus, also there's Ericsson in the SBC section, so if you did pack him untradeable, you probably and he's actually not that expensive if you wanted to just try him out, I suppose.
Also, talking of glow ups, another one that's got a glow up is Miroslav Klose. He's already 90k, so people don't rate the glow up too much. But something that might have gone a little bit amiss with this is he's and something I don't think we pointed out, I could be wrong, might not have heard it earlier, is they've updated skill moves and weak for these. So he's gone from 3-star, 4-star to now having 4-star skills, has Miroslav Klose on this card.
Oh.
So it's little intricate details like that can help.
Yeah, a few of them have. So like Drogba's been upgraded to 5-star weak foot. Luis Figo's been upgraded to a 5-star skill moves. So yeah, it's similar to like the prime icon moments for a few of them, where it would try and maybe fix or just improve the icon that little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not for every single one of them, but it definitely makes a difference. I mean, you just look at, like, say, for instance, Figo's price, just because of pure fact that he's been upgraded to 5-star skill moves, his card is just under $1 million. Whereas in, like, when you look at his mid version, that's only 440k. So just doing something as simple as that, plus with the stat upgrades, makes a huge difference in terms of the price of them, especially if you're packing them tradable. But yeah, like you say, icons not really helping too much with chemistry this year, so it's a bit of detracts from the attractiveness of icons.
Yeah.
And I was having a thinking about how EA could technically fix this, and it would be interesting to see what you two think about this idea, which is, rather than the icons just purely helping on a nation basis on a +2, what they should do with the icons is help everybody in the squad with a +1. So like if you're using say like not necessarily like if you got 3 Premier League players, it's suddenly like +3 on the Premier League. It's just a +1 on the Premier League, and then like 1 each for each nation if it's different nations type situation. Because I think that would then make the icons almost similar to how they used to be, which is they could sit next to somebody and help
Everyone around them
was next to them.
Yeah, that sounds fairly reasonable. I wouldn't expect
Yeah, I
it
don't know.
to-
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't foresee this when they changed the chemistry rule. And I think this is probably one of their biggest oversights. I don't think this is how they thought it was going to go, in my opinion. Because otherwise, they're detracting away from one of their biggest cards in the game, and that to me seems very much unlike EA. So yeah, if they could tweak it or I suppose the obvious tweak is to just basically put them on whatever setting the heroes are on. But yeah, that would. I'm all for the other one as well. I think that would work.
And then obviously with Black Friday, started on Thursday with pre-Black Friday, meant that we obviously had loads of different Flash SBCs. We also had a lot of different varieties of packs coming into the store. So there's quite a lot of different packs that were in the store. I can't remember every single one of them, but we'll go through a collection of what came out, and we can see what if we managed to get a little bit of success. We'll start off with the biggest one that came out, which was the 250,000, 3,000 FIFA points, 100 player pack.
Yeah.
Which was quite a big one. I thought it would be a very, very, very good pack to be opening up, but it actually, surprisingly, was actually quite a bad
Terrible
pack, I guess, in terms of pack weights and stuff. So yeah, so in terms of the pack weight of these packs, it was a bit surprising because I was expecting to maybe be maybe potentially guaranteed special card almost, not necessarily the high-end special cards, even just like maybe a low-end one, one of the team of the weeks, or just something in it. But turns out, yeah, if you opened it with coins, big ripperoonie in some ways, because I doubt you would have seen 250k back in terms of cards.
No,
let's just face it. Because how many walkouts? Because I opened all three that came out.
Open 2.
How many walkouts?
I opened 1 because mine was horrific. It
So
mentally scarred me.
Let's hear from Luke's first then, because mine was probably a little bit better than that.
Yeah, so I only got 1 walkout. I got Milinkovic-Savic, and that was it. Period. The end.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me I'm not touching this ever again. That's burned me.
I got, so in one of the packs I got Oblak, and I think behind him was maybe, I know Verratti was in there. I feel like there was 2 more walkouts. So in 100 players, that was 3 walkouts. That weren't very good. And then I got I think that was where I got Mateus Nunes as well in one of them. So I did get a special card, but behind that, it was pretty poor, not going to lie.
Literally no special cards and 1 walkout and it's an 86 walkout was criminal. Absolutely criminal.
Well, so in the 3 that I opened, first one had 4 walkouts, I believe, but no special card.
Right.
With I think it was about maybe an 88 or 89 as the highest. Second one was 4 walkouts, and I think that one was the highest of 88. No special cards again. Third one, I think, was 3 walkouts. Highest was Benzema in that one, so that wasn't too bad in terms of maybe rating, but again, so in comparison, it was like, I did do it with FIFA points, so 9,000 FIFA points, and I got 11 walkouts, no special cards.
Wow.
Which, I guess, when I've also think about it in terms of if I had spent 9,000 FIFA points opening up 125k packs, I probably might have only got 2, 3, 4 walkouts maybe at best. So I guess in some ways it's a bit like, okay, it's good versus that, but in terms of when you're opening 100 player pack, and you kind of have a high expectation, I guess, when you're opening up that sort of level of pack. But yeah, I've heard some even worse packs than yours, by the way, Luke. I heard somebody got an Handanovic as their best card.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, I've seen a couple open that didn't. I think the first one that I saw Haber open didn't have a walkout. It was an 85. I think it was like Patrick Schick or something. So yeah, pretty abysmal, isn't it?
I think it's because it doesn't guarantee a minimum rating. I don't believe.
No, it doesn't.
On that
No.
100 players.
They
Exactly,
can't, I
so-
suppose, because there's probably not 100 gold rare players above a certain rating. So they'd have to like.
Well, no, in terms of the best, the face card.
Oh, I see. Yeah. One player
When
guaranteed
you open up
over 85.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Not
like
well, they did that. To be fair,
100.
they did that with that. Like they kind of did that with that 1 to watch pack, didn't they? So it had like a 1 to watch, a rule breaker, some other things in there as well. Which I opened that pack as well. To be fair.
Did
you open that one?
I don't want to talk about that either. It's been a bad
God.
weekend. It's
Yeah.
been a bad weekend.
I got Calvin
Yeah.
Phillips in that one.
Mine was worse than that. Same promo, worse.
Mine was same promo and worse than Calvin Phillips as well. Mine was basically discard value in Frankowski.
Mine was
Okay.
just as well. Mine was less usable than that. I've used them,
Okay.
but at least yours is in Ligue 1. Try the MLS and Mexican.
Oh, okay.
So
that guy.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I got no, it wasn't Hernandez. It was
it'd be-
Herrera.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that guy. It wasn't even the one I liked. It wasn't
Well, yeah,
even
no,
the
because
one I liked.
Hernandez is actually quite usable. Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I got Houston Dynamo's legend Hector Herrera. It's been a bad week. It's just not been kind.
So we'll go from most expensive to least expensive. A 10 coin player pack. So it contained 3 rare players. I think it was 3 rare players plus I think it was like World Cup player picks, which obviously isn't that particularly special. So not too bad in terms of 10 coins, let's face it. At the end of the day, you're guaranteed to get something that is worth way more than the pack cost. Just 10 coins, and I gotta say I didn't get anything spectacular out of that, but I take it because at the end of the day it's stuff that I put into SBCs and stuff. But did any of you two manage to strike a bit of luck maybe with that 10 coin pack?
Oh, no.
Define as luck.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What are you hoping for?
I guess maybe a walkout.
No, I
If
got
we were
one
talking about
board.
Spanish centre mid boards, then cool. I've
it's
got
like-
you sorted.
Almost like my Spanish left wing back board. So yeah, it's pretty much, it was as bad as you could get, but then like you say, it's 10 coins and it was free. It helps, I just put him in the 83 rated squad to get Maldini. So there you go. He contributed from his 10 coins anyway.
Then we had 2 packs that contained swap tokens. I don't know how I managed to miss one of them. I guess it was only available for a very limited amount of time because somehow I completely missed it. But the other one I managed to open up. Didn't get anything spectacular from either of those foundation packs.
No,
So
me neither.
No, I can't recall one.
I mean, with how bad this week's been for me, I viewed getting informed Bruno Guimaraes in like something random as a positive. That's the level we're talking here. You can talk
Yes.
about good packs. I'm celebrating informed Bruno Guimaraes, not even the upgraded, not the one that can get upgraded. No.
no, not
Normal.
the Puffs Glory.
Inform Bruno Guimaraes is a W.
Then there was a guaranteed FUT hero pack I think that's been removed from the store now. I believe I think all of the packs have been removed. Even though I swear to God, they had longish dates or times on them, but yeah, they're all gone. But I thought that that pack in particular was not worth opening. It was 200k in terms of coins, and I believe it was 2,500 FIFA points. In terms of how many heroes there were out there, that was higher than the value if you opened in coins. Just made it not worth opening for that sort of like sheer factor. And plus with the fact that we've had recently like World Cup hero SBCs as well, and let's face it, the World Cup heroes are a lot more desirable now than pretty much majority of the normal heroes. But somebody here did open up the FUT hero.
I did, and I got Cordoba.
So you got lucky. You got lucky in that you didn't get now, and somebody that was worth less than 200k. But I would imagine the majority of people that did open it got stung big time.
Yeah, I would think so. I done one of the like normal hero ones and got Forlan as well, which was quite nice. Not the World Cup version, unfortunately, just his standard. But I've heard good things about him, so yeah, I've done a few of them sort of SBCs and actually like packs, and actually come off pretty good, which is like my first time ever. But yeah, other than obviously I just now recycled my first icon, which Luke said he saw on my short. I got Bobby Moore, but not the good one that you got, Maz.
Ah,
You
yeah.
got the base one, the
Not-
87.
I got base
one.
87, yeah, in my base or mid icon pack. So yeah, I didn't learn from last year. I opened so many icon packs, and I've now done 2. And as I've just got 92 Maldini, I'll stop. I think we'll call it there.
That's just very false. We know you too well. That's just
Yeah, there'll be
so
another one, sure.
false.
Yep,
It-
no, of course it will. Yep,
Yeah, well,
talking up my
yeah.
ass. Yep.
And sort of like last sort of the promo packs that I remember, we had a Jumbo Ultimate pack plus the normal sort of like 84, 85, 86 star player packs that came out of there. So Jumbo Ultimate pack was tradable. So if you opened it, you did get tradable players. I know myself and Luke have opened that. I'm just going to straight up say mine was terrible. Wish I hadn't opened it with coins. Luke, what did you manage to get?
So I opened it with coins also, and I probably broke even. So
Okay.
I packed my first tradable icon of the year. But this is the only, and I'm going to say minor W, because it just got me my money back. That's about it. I tried using him, didn't enjoy him, mid Van Basten. He's about 85k. It got me the bulk of my coins back.
It helps. It makes it less painful in comparison to me. But Brad, did you open up a Jumbo Ultimate?
No,
pack?
I didn't. No.
No?
Too busy spending mine on the other ones that were probably not the best ones to have bought. But I was
Yeah, you did it on. You spent it on the untradeable ones rather than the tradable ones.
pretty much. Yeah, I was just what it's like when you got the points there. They start burning a hole, don't they? But yeah, it is what it is. But I was quite fortunate that I did the old use a certain website to top up my wallet and then buy my points. So I saved extra money rather than buying them directly from EA.
Obviously, we've had a selection of SBCs as well during the weekend and Black Friday. Brad has already revealed some of the things that he's packed from some of these, so me and Luke, I guess, will talk about what we've managed to pack from them if we've done them. So we've had an 89 Max World Cup hero, which was refreshed after 2 days, so you could do that twice. Have you done them?
No, I sat there, looked at my Mascherano I got previously, and went, my luck's not in at the moment. I'm not going to send more than I have to. There's about 2-3 W's in this, I'm going to say.
I'm sure I did this.
Probably a little bit more.
I think there's quite a
There's Al Warren.
few.
The ones I'm thinking,
Yeah,
like Al Warren, I'm thinking
Oh,
Torre.
you
I think there's about 8.
You just reminded me who I got there. Yep.
Oh, you got Al Warren.
No, I got Algebra.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't,
Well,
didn't go for it.
I did both of them that I could do. First one was good. I got a player that's better than Narky Williams
Ah, yes.
in that first one.
See what Brad can remember.
You know,
Brad, do you remember who's
Brad's
better than Narky?
recommendation.
Better than Anarchy Williams.
You said it last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Last week's a long
The
time ago.
comparison.
Landon Donovan.
Donovan.
Oh, yeah. Have you tried him?
Yeah, I got. Yeah, he's absolutely amazing in game.
Nice.
Second one, I got a goalkeeper.
Oh,
Oh.
he's
Scan
terrible.
pass, basically.
Awful.
Yeah.
I hate that card.
Yes.
As much as I appreciate
yeah,
him getting me so many views, I hate that card now.
Plus, you just it doesn't matter what promo it is, you don't really want to see goalkeeper. Let's face it.
No, but I celebrated seeing that when I saw a World Cup card come out. I might have uploaded the footage. There's me literally seeing it's a World Cup Mexico and then just celebrating. Like, no one else cares about this but me.
Yeah, and then he
And then he
disappointed
disappointed me. I no longer cared.
Then, speaking about goalkeepers, I got a goalkeeper from the 87 plus base or mid icon.
Oh, wow.
SBC, which you could do 3 times. I did it twice. I got Brad's favourite goalkeeper from last FIFA in it.
Joke.
Casillas. And then in the other one, I
Casillas,
got 90 rated Pirlo.
Oh, okay. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not great, but not too bad.
You done that one, Luke?
No, I've opened other people's though, and it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
Got a mid Roberto Carlos for someone, but then also I can't even remember the L that we got. It was quite a random L. Petr Cech was the L. So I did get a goalkeeper this weekend for someone. It was just a Petr Cech.
Unless it's Van der Sar or Yashin, I think those are realistically the only 2 icon goalkeepers you would be happy to see.
Yeah, I think if I saw Yashin come up, I'd consider that a medium dub.
What, in terms of rating for fodder?
Yeah, well, just anything better than Bobby Moore. Yeah, so that was I've only done 2 of them. So the third one is, still potential, I suppose. But yeah, so first one I got Bobby Moore, absolutely dreadful. And as I said, I just did one at the start of his podcast, and that was 92 Maldini. So he's gone straight into my starting lineup.
So Maldini.
That's good.
So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty chuffed with that, and yeah, that's why I feel like I should call it there. But as Luke said, I'm an absolute merchant for Icon SBCs.
He is Brad and Icon packs go together like me and Els this week.
It's like a disease, really.
Yes.
But
Then we've had also a 86 plus FUT Hero or World Cup Hero SBC. I'm not really going to be touching this one because I think it would have been more tempting if it was 87 plus.
yeah,
Well, so then you could get Campos.
so that you can't get Crouch.
It's not necessarily that. It's just when you look at, especially with the normal heroes rather than necessarily the World Cup heroes, there's just way too many L's in that 86 bracket. If you remove those and just leave a couple of the normal hero L's, then it's like, okay, that might be a bit more enticing because you've got at least then a bit more of a balance between like L, middle of the road Mers maybe, and then like the dubs. Whereas in this, it's like too much heavy on the L front.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, no. Or the other one would be to make it a player pick or something like that, like a 1 or 2, like some of the other SBCs that we got, like the party pick.
I think that would definitely make it more appealing because I saw like any videos I've seen around that pack have been pretty much, I would say 60-40 in favor of the old old hero cards. And the only one I have done, I did get an old one, but that was Forlan, so I don't feel like it was a bad card to get, but certainly, yeah, I think at this stage now where we're in the World Cup promo, the World Cup heroes have been released, I don't think you should be able to get a bad old hero. So either they guarantee you a player pick where you get one of one and one of the other, so you get a guaranteed World Cup hero and a guaranteed hero, and you can choose one of them. So you still might get like, World Cup Crouch, but you might get like hero Di Natale, and you'd be happy.
Or Campos and Campos.
Or Campos and Campos, yeah. I mean, if your luck's that bad, then you should just stop playing FIFA.
Yeah.
Note to self.
But then, obviously, as I said, there was a campaign mix party pick, which was a 1 of 2, which included 1 to watch cards, road to the knockouts, rule breakers, out of positions, and the path to glory cards. So there's a good selection of promo players in that. It is just a 1 of 2. I did do 2 of them. I'd say first one, not that so great. Second one, big dubs on the second one, which was 1 to watch Mane. Muller was in the first one. Have you done the campaign mix party pick?
I've done 1.
Yeah.
And
yes, I've done 1 as well.
So in my 1, I got it was Sissoko. So he was my first choice, but actually I took because of, not necessarily because of like rating, but he's got potential for an upgrade, and he was more expensive in Carvajal, Path to Glory Carvajal. It's like 180k, I think.
I'm trying to remember my second one. I know they're staring me in the face right now. And that is Andre Frank, Zambo and Gisa.
Yeah.
So I got that card. I can't remember who the other card was.
I know a few people that got him as well. A couple of my mates got him, and it's like the best player. So I don't know if he was a bit pack heavy on them or not.
I honestly can't remember who it was.
I don't blame you. To be fair, you're only going to really remember the person you pick rather than a second player.
Yeah, I think had it not have been for the fact that Sissoko is, notably a good game in most, a good player, sorry, in most years of the game, then yeah, that's the only reason I remember seeing him. But yeah, it wasn't the one I chose. So.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Sissoko, by the way, this week. Dupe Theory struck me on the RTG. He's the only, and I stress, the only card that I had from any promo of those lot. Untradeable on that account. And I got him in the pack. It wasn't in the flash up for both of them, but it was in the pack. I think it was the same, and I was like, oh, you're kidding me.
And then the last of the notable SBCs before we talk about player SBCs is the year in review has been released. It is going to contain SBC and objective players from the month of October. I personally am not going to be probably touching this. It's not too bad in terms of price, but I think it's just because of the pure fact that the squad foundation players are apparently in it. That is a big turn off for me, just because of the pure fact that, they're quite easy to get hold of. But naturally, like doing the objectives, I don't really want to see one or two of them pop up. However, Luke has struck a little bit of gold in one of his that he has done. Would you like to let the audience know?
Yeah, of course. The second one I did was good. The first one, which I did on my main account, was... I'd say I wouldn't have been too happy with it. It gave me a card I like, but I like it because I already have it. So it gave me Roman Favre, and the card I had to take, Chris Willock. So that was one of them. And in the second one, I got given an offer of... And I'm just checking the second one. Hang on. I got Rule Breakers Alaba on the RTG.
Okay, not bad.
That's practically one of the best ones.
Yes, that is besides Messi, obviously, which is the top one. Yeah, that's top 5, I would say. Maybe even top 3.
Yeah, it was the defending version, not the physical version.
Oh yeah, too, didn't he? Yeah, he was a choice.
The other option was Marco Arnautovic. I've just looked at my own video.
Okay,
so, yeah. So at least someone's watching my content.
In the dynamic duos.
That's a positive. Yeah, the dynamic duos Arnautovic came out. So yeah. that was the two of them.
And just a note for the people that are listening, and to Brad, just in case he doesn't know, is obviously you can get a couple of players that are still available to do right now. In Savio, Insigne, João Mario, and I believe there was one more.
It would have been...
No, actually no, it's just the 3, because the other one came out in November.
Oh, is it expired now? No, it wouldn't have expired. No, no, I get you.
So Icardi, yeah, that he came out afterwards, so that he doesn't class in that. So that's probably the strangest element, is having 3 players that essentially people could just go and do that are extremely cheap to do in the first place. But yeah, in terms of the selection of players, I think there's just not enough to warrant doing it. Or will you be doing it, Brad?
No, because like you said, squad foundation players being in there, that to me is that's poor. Like,
I would have thought you'd have been doing it, to be fair, if I'm being completely truthful here. I mean, the foundation players being in there is understandable because foundations came out in that time period.
Yeah.
Any SBC or objective that came out in that time period. So that's understandable. So people making a fuss over that, it's like, yes, they're still out, but funny enough, they came out at the right time. You can't exactly go, we're going to include everything, but actually, hang on, we're making exceptions. Because then they'll say, oh, we're going to not include Player of the Month, by the way. Or something like that for future. It's better they include more than go, oh, we're putting restrictions on this, by the way. Have fun. I prefer them doing it that way than go, sorry, no Messi, or last year, no Salah, no Ronaldo, that kind of a thing. But I would have thought you'd have done it purely for the fact that you don't play the game enough to do any objectives and not many SBCs.
No, but I mean, I'm also not playing the game enough to play the game enough. So, yeah, my team, I think my team is pretty disgusting considering I can only get on the companion app at the moment and hardly have time to play the game. But for me, it's more the fact that the squad foundations is so saturated with players. And that's the problem, I think, is that, like, in terms of if you're looking to get certain promos, you're not actually going to get that much of a, there's a majority of the cards in there in terms of a percentage are going to be the squad foundations. Because I think, each league has about 5 players?
Yeah, 5 per league, yeah.
And there's how many leagues at the moment? 4?
No, six, sorry, no. Because isn't there 3 for the...
3 for the normal one and then 1 that you get and then 1 for the main... Like online objectives, isn't there?
There's the SBC
and the
well.
SBC as well, yeah. So
that's why it's like 6.
So and then it's 4 leagues?
Well, for the October ones, it's 3 leagues,
okay.
I believe.
So you're 18 players there at the moment, which, I suppose SBCs of say 1 to watch, there isn't 18. SBCs of out of position, there isn't 18. So, like, they are the pack heavy side of things. I'd want to see a couple opened maybe before I decide. I don't even know what is the requirements. I haven't even seen it tonight, to be fair.
So I can't remember what the requirements are because I've already done them. But from what I've seen, obviously I'm an exception here. From what I've been seeing on streams, it's mainly been Danjuma or someone like Sterling that's been the common ones.
Okay.
That's what I've been hearing. I've only seen, as I say, about 5 or 6 of these, but 4 of them featured either Danjuma or Sterling. I
mean, Sterling's a dub because it's obviously going to get upgrades.
So it is an 84 rated squad and it requires 286 or higher players in it.
Okay.
So not excessive, hence I'm
no,
like,
that's not too bad, actually.
That's not bad. So that's why I was like, yeah, Brad will probably just chance it and give it a shot.
I'll see how much it's saying on Footbin. I think that would be roughly about 80k, potentially.
I think 86.
Oh, no, 52k.
I would say 86 is around about 13, 14k at the moment, I think. So,
yeah,
it's not too bad.
50k is not terrible.
No, it's not, actually. And if you do get an SBC that you either missed out on or now looks good, like I say, because of upgrading potential and stuff like that, then actually it's a pretty good dub, isn't it? But however,
so
if you get,
mind, are you all over that?
I'm probably going to do one just because I'm a sucker for an SB I didn't really want to do the mixed player one, but because it's there and it's brand new and shiny, I did one. Like I'm gonna do it. I just won't keep doing it. Maybe like if I just get the 1 dub, then I'll take it. I'll be fortunate.
Well, as you say, you always prefer them when they're player picks and a pack. Basically,
but I know we're not going to get that for a little while at the moment.
This is that. This is a 2-player pick.
Oh, it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But speaking about promo players, we've obviously already sort of like spoken about Robin van Persie, Ericsson, Morientes. The main one to talk about would be Flashback Messi. In some ways, like the one that was predicted last year has finally come out. He's finally
for sure,
out.
It's a whole year ahead of schedule. It's you got a lot.
Yeah, basically.
Or 6 months. He probably said it around like last year, probably February time, I reckon. Trying to remember when the Ronaldo came out. I think it was similarly timed.
What, Ronaldo last year?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or the Flashback?
No,
one?
last year. The year before. It was 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in December. So I remember getting it right at the start. I think it was right at the start of like whatever the winter promo is. I don't want to say the Christmas word. Not offend anyone.
You said the word. I hate to be the one. You say I don't want to offend anyone and still said the word.
So yeah, I'm sure it was at the start of that because I remember I'm sure I got him and like a foot freeze card or something, whatever it was that year in like the same week.
Now the question is, are you going to be doing Messi's SBC?
No.
Depending when it expires, maybe.
3 days time.
That's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah, not a long time period on that SBC, unfortunately.
No. I mean, the thing is, unless you really wanted him, that meant you were pretty much gonna not do the icons or heroes SBCs because you're gonna have to put your cards into him. So I feel like straight off the bat there, you've got a choice, and my choice is probably going to be the special cards, just because, like, although it looks like a nice card, and people again love to be able to own a Messi, and we talked about this before. Those that have never packed one can get to own a Messi. Those that never packed Ronaldo could get to, like, it's that same thing. The same with Neymar when we had that like last year. I just think that he will probably fall behind the curve quite quickly, and for that reason, like, that's a lot of money. I know it's like what, 350k, something like that, but I don't know. It's not for me, and it's not that I don't necessarily like him in game. I just don't. I don't have room for him in my team, and as I've said previously, I'm a stickler for the fact that at the moment, while my team's pretty good, unless I get something free, totally worthwhile to change it, I'm not going to change it.
And then the other player SBC to speak about of note is a certain Flashback Cuadrado that's come out. I know Luke loves his Colombian players and has said that he's always wanted to see a right mid,
Preferably
Cuadrado?
right wing, but
preferably right wing.
We'll take what we can get. Like I believe just checked. I've not
he
checked
can
his
play
positions. I think he can play it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Him being able to play right wing makes me happy. It's been a good 2-3 years since I've been able to play Cuadrado right wing whilst getting chemistry, and that makes me happy. Just being able to see him back in those sort of positions reminds me of back between pretty much any FIFA, like FIFA 15 onwards. Cuadrado was always my winger. Arias right back. Job done.
Yeah, because I remember when he had a Chelsea card as a winger, didn't he?
He did. He was at Chelsea for a year. I think that was FIFA 15/16.
16, 17? Yeah, I can't
No, it was
remember,
FIFA. So he was at Fiorentina at the start of FIFA 15.
Yeah.
And then he got traded with Mo Salah, who then went to Fiorentina from
Yes.
Chelsea, and then vice versa. Year later, he then went to Juve. I believe he only lasted a year.
Yeah.
Well, not even a year. I don't think it was 6 months, and then he went. But yeah, and then Cuadrado's been settled there ever since.
I mean, it'll be your perfect right mid if you ever go back to using a free back.
We'll see. We will see. It's definitely one of those cards that I could use for that. But it's going to bring back memories. Like, the team's slowly coming back together. I just need James Rodriguez to be back in the game. Those are the days just of Colombian sides and just messing about with that was the stuff. I've got the attackers. I've got Davinson Sanchez and a couple of defenders. So we're slowly coming back.
It's just a shame that they never got to the World Cup. Otherwise, you would have seen a lot more.
Well, yeah, that would have been one that I'm definitely doing from the 32 that would have come out as swaps. There'd have probably been a promo card, probably known as Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Missed opportunities, but sadly they missed out on. They didn't even get to the playoffs so Peru. I think Peru finished ahead of them and got to the playoffs, but knocked out by Australia, I'm gonna say. And then obviously Ecuador got in place. So they were 2 positions off automatic qualification and 1 off of playoff qualification. So they just weren't good enough.
But that is it for all of the content, pretty much. I know there's a few things, but there was just so much this week because of it being Black Friday and stuff. So we could only cover so much, unfortunately. But that is it for this week's episode of the Free Foot Tiers podcast. Brad, Luke, thank you for being on the podcast as always.
Thank you.
No sweat.
If you want to check out any of our individual content, our links are down in the description down below, so feel free to check that out. And we will see you all in the next episode of the Free Foot Tiers podcast. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, guys.